second cup of coffee already. I know I am. Thank you to 1 Million Cups for hosting today, and I'm so excited to be here at Atlas. It's a sustainable space. And what do I mean by that? All of the furniture in here, if you take a look around, all this furniture is designed by Steelcase. And they're a brand that I really respect for having a sustainability promise. Sustainability at Steelcase is about economic, environmental, and social conditions that allow people and communities to reach their full potential. That's huge for a brand right now. And what do they do about this? They publish documents. And what are those documents? Proof of sustainability in their materials. And when you read through these, you see things like ANSI BIFMA E3 2014E. I don't know what that means. Well, I looked it up. It means reducing their textile emissions. It's 84% recyclable. What does that mean? Well, it means that they have a take-back program where they have customer service people that specifically work with you to take back materials in mass and redistribute them into their own supply chains. But what about all of our other materials that don't have this red carpet service? Last year, we witnessed the complete collapse, $200 billion of our plastics recycling value chains. I've been working on this problem for about 10 years. This is me at 16 years old talking with our local Seattle King 5 News about cleaning up trash from our mountain lakes. And this has been a really long passion of mine. I started in entrepreneurship, DECA in high school, placed internationally, pursued sustainable industrial design at college, worked on a clean tech startup, did conferences, worked in international supply chains with clients like Starbucks, Guggenheim, Nordstrom. We were actually doing QR audits, sourcing at trade shows. I really tried to make an impact there, but just struggled trying to find sustainable materials. From there, I started consulting with emerging tech startups in order to embed all this knowledge from the beginning of development, but I still struggled to find those materials. It's just difficult. And leading organizations have found similar conclusions. I started mapping our supply chains, and the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, which is the largest sustainability organization in the world, they've identified materials design, production, consumers, and recycling as the key impact areas that we can affect in our supply chains with technology. Well, I've identified a couple more, and I aim to hit those with Anim8. One is after materials design, how do we actually pick the materials we need for production? Well, with Anim8, we'll be able to share, search, and select our materials. And from a consumer standpoint, how do we actually incentivize proper materials disposal and then redistribute that for recycling or composting, which we haven't even covered yet. And we've got things like natural polymers that are starting to be innovated on in a big way. So with Anim8, we really hope to embed materials sorting data within our products in order to revive our materials marketplace. And a key advisor of ours, Nadia Peak, she is a professor at the University of Washington, received her PhD from the Center of Bits and Atoms at MIT. She also agrees. She states that we need to understand the materials that are around us so that we can create a high-performance economy with natural polymers and ingredients that are underused. This requires distributed information regarding the availability and usability of local materials. And that's a key point there. So at Anim8, we believe that we can change the world with a piece of paper. And this is a key point that Nadia made, was she was involved in launching the Fab Lab movement. And they launched that movement with just a simple list of common tools. So we're starting with a common piece of paper. And this is our materials library card. So welcome to our open access Anim8 materials library. If you're a material supplier, all you have to do is print out this sheet of paper, cut it out, attach your material to your card, fold it up, register it on our platform, and send it in the mail in a common envelope. If you're a designer or engineer, you can order and receive these cards, add them to your database, share them with your friends or coworkers, search for similar materials. So for example, if we use plastics, we can substitute natural polymers with similar properties. and then select materials that you'd like to use in your designs. From here, we can invest in healthy materials innovations. And what I mean is designers are going to be able to actually embed this material data in their products, in their 3D models, so that in the supply chain, we can read that later on. So everyone who has a phone in their hands, hold it up right now. Our Internet of Things is proliferating everything. The lights in this room are even part of the Internet of Things. We envision at Anim8 a world where all of our connected devices have distributed materials information, can be made with local materials, and can exist within a disassembly to production economy, or the circular economy, which is a new wave of sustainability thinking right now. And looking at some key statistics in this market, with 80% of electronics not being collected, investment in petroleum plastics versus bioplastics, we estimate this is a $270 billion market. We've looked at several key players, from the older materials sourcing agencies all the way to open source initiatives. We've identified a couple competitors that exist within blockchain and actual materials design, so that's they're encoding data, but there are open databases that we can draw from, and communities. We've targeted the wearable tech fashion community as a key area to start with, as a merger between electronics and sustainable fabrics. And I haven't even mentioned my co-founder yet. Vikram Madgil is our CEO. He has 15 years of extensive experience in AI and supply chain management. And he is also, this is his friend, founder of Microsoft Deep Learning. He is an IEEE editor, lead Dang. And Vikram also, and he visited Vikram last week at his ethical AI meetup called The Good AI, where they're developing an initiative for standards in this space. So his background in ethical intelligence and my background in supply chains and sustainability is crucial to making a program like this happen. We envision starting with materials data, going into processes, from there developing an Anim8 intelligence. We'll start to be able to actually embed this knowledge into the things that we are designing. So we'll create animated things, and from there, once we have enough things, we can actually have an animated marketplace. Building this as a community is extremely important to us, which is why we've spent the last 2 years establishing relationships with our key launch communities. Makers, designers, citizen scientists, engineers, and youth. I've spent a lot of time I lead the Women in 3D Printing meetup, as well as volunteer in high schools. I've been doing that for 3 years. From there, we only see scale with enterprise through influencer programs. So I invite you to collaborate with us. Join our community everywhere at Anim8 Co. And Co for collective. That's important. Collective community. So today we are investing in a healthy material world. Thank you for listening, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have now.